and welcome to Retro Reminisce. My name's Killjoy, and I'm joined, as always, by my favourite pair here. To my right, yeah, there you go, see? To my right, a man who just eats lots of fruit, Mr. Fruity Sammer. How you doing?
Yo, I am okay.
It's always good, isn't it, when someone's okay? And to my other right, a man who's got no nickname and just goes by his normal name, Mr. Mark Kitchen. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. I'm also okay.
But just okay.
The man with no online alias. He's so out there with his name and everything.
Yeah, I do have an online alias. I've just never shared it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a secret.
Keep it a secret. You never know who's listening.
No.
Right, Retro Reminisce is a show where we look at some older games and not so old games, talk about when we first played them, if they still hold up, and the like. And today we're looking at a turn-based strategy game way back when, from the 90s, which is Worms. The original Worms, to be exact, or Worms United, as we've been playing. Let's start off then, Mr. Mark. When was the first time you ever played Worms?
Well, my best friend as a child, still one of my best friends, we used to play it on his PS1 in the 90s in his parents' living room. So probably like 20 plus years ago, probably pretty much when it came out. Yeah, just played it quite a lot back then, just me and him. I don't have any memories of playing it with anyone else. I think by the time I played any more Worms, I'd gone on to Worms 2 and World Party and things. Thought it was like amazing at the time.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of other things have happened with the series now, but I remember thinking I've never played anything like this before. This is very original. Very cool.
I don't know many people that didn't have a PS1 that didn't own Worms.
Yeah, great charm to it.
It's the Fruity.
Yeah, I didn't own it with my PS1. As soon as you said that, I was like,
Broken
yeah,
my trend.
Yeah, like the later ones, not like the first one.
Yeah.
I really can't remember. It's never really been a franchise that I like properly played for a good amount of time or like properly followed. It's kind of more like I just turn up to people's houses and like they have it and we play, but like I can't remember the first time I played it. That's probably like PS1 era, I guess. But like don't have much
Nostalgia.
Reminisce.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Different for me because my oldest brother had an Amiga and I distinctly remember playing on that and playing quite a bit of it actually. And then he got a PC and he had like the PC version as well. And it was definitely a game that I really liked. Like both my brothers, me and my sister would play it. We'd play it at one point all together. So I remember I was maybe about 5, 6 or 7, sometime around there. I think that's when I definitely played it on the PC version or the Amiga version before I played the PS1. And then a friend of mine got a PS1, and I know he had it at some point, so I know we played it. But that's that I do remember. I do remember actually a lot playing it and enjoying it and being like, oh, this is really fun, and actually trying to getting quite good at it even from a young age. So. That's like my earliest memory.
Yeah, I definitely played a lot more of the later ones, like I had Worms 2 on the PC and like a lot of Armageddon and stuff.
Yeah.
Armageddon's one I played the most.
But I still do remember playing this one before any of the others existed, so I still remember that kind of awe of being like, wow, this is such a great idea and it's so well executed.
Yeah, it's a good turn-based game. So, get on to things we like about the game. Let's start with you, Mr. Fruity. What do you like about this game?
Like the aesthetic and like the humour behind it.
Yeah.
I really like the voices you can use, the art style. Like how the background looks, the water, the island. I really like the way it looks.
It's a nice looking game actually, even though it's old.
I mean, the weapons are like more limiting. But it's kind of nice how you can kind of pretty much work out what they would do. Except for like the two punch moves, which can be like not so intuitive. You like shotgun, you're like, wow, it's gonna be 2 shots. Uzi, it's going to spray, bazooka, home, and whereas in the later ones, it's not so easy to be pick up things. Like, what the hell are half these weapons?
Yeah, they're a bit mad, aren't they?
It's quite nice having I mean, it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing, but it's quite nice. It's very much easier to get into this one. After not playing a Worms game for years.
What's about it then?
Oh yeah, the videos. Cutscenes.
Oh, the little cutscenes, yeah.
So good.
They are quite funny.
Yeah, I have more negative things.
Okay.
Than positive things.
Alright, Mr. Mark, let's see if you can turn this around. What do you like about this game?
I like a lot of things about this game. I think it's a great concept to start with. I like a lot of the terrains. I think for when it came out, I think it's very varied. the look of the terrains, like a lot of different themes going on. Obviously there's different, like, you get icy levels where you can slip and slide around, and then there's like spacey levels where
Gravity.
anti-gravity, like low gravity kind of stuff. Yeah, I think it's got like a
Selection.
artillery
Yeah,
selection of
artillery,
weapons. And I like a lot of the like little nuances about the game, like when you die and you get the little gravestone behind you. I like the kind of atmospheric music. I like the kind of textures and stuff, like background and the foreground, and just the way it kind of moves around and stuff. I like the way that you can name your worms, and they have like
Personality to them.
personalities. Yeah, gave it a lot of character for something that is essentially just blowing things up. But they did really manage to. I know they did a lot more in the later games, but I still think they did a good job of animating them, giving them a lot of character and stuff. I really like that. I really like the combat as well, just getting used to angle something, how many seconds it needs for like a bazooka or a grenade or whatever, and just the whole strategy element to it, I suppose.
The learning curve.
Yeah, the learning curve, and thinking about how many worms are in one area, so if there's multiple, then thinking about what weapon you could use kind of thing, or if there's just one, then you don't want to like waste like an airstrike or whatever. You know, like the whole strategy element to it is really good. I love the theme on the menu theme, like the main.
Oh, the main music,
theme.
yeah,
It
it's
just
fantastic.
gives me so much joy every time I hear
It's
it.
a very good
You know,
tune.
when you load it up for the first time, like the other day, when we played it with Ryan, I was like, this game. Even just seeing like the text, the way the text is and
The
everything,
army text, yeah.
and then just naming all of our worms. Yeah, like naming all of our worms and stuff, and I was like, this takes me back. So there's
You
loads
can't
of, like-
repeat any of my names.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you do with, and you can. I can name my own character. I'm gonna call it like Bob.
Yeah, you're gonna give it a silly name.
Yeah, just for the audience, we had some interesting team names. I went with Nintendo characters. Samus, Donkey Kong, Mario, and Link. Dave, however.
Oh, bleep, 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 and bleep.
Bleep, bleep,
From
bleep.
Team Bleep Ups.
Quite offensive, but to be fair, that's what I used to do. So
Yeah.
Always do that.
So there's many different like things about this game that are good, that make it like one good package, I suppose.
yeah,
Like small elements add up to one big great thing, and it's just, I don't know, it's really fun. And if you get really invested in it, you can start to like,
get really good,
yeah,
like, really good.
like as long as you're invested in it, then you start like thinking really strategically and start using stuff like girders and blowtorching your way into holes and stuff like that, just to be as defensive as possible. Yeah, it can get really strategic and really tense in some games when you're.
So
Or you could just have a few beers and just dick around with your mates and just try and bomb each other and like.
and then play worms.
Oh my.
So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. There'll probably be other things that I remember as we continue talking, but I think I've covered off quite a bit there.
Yeah, just thought of 2 quick points.
Yeah, carry on.
Which I quite like. I like how the levels like randomise and you can like click through like I'm just doing it. I also like how it randomises like the placement of like the worms and the mines and stuff. Kind of gives it like a very fresh feel, even though you're on pretty much like the same situation.
Yeah,
And like how much that initial randomising of where the worms start and who you start next to and where really affects like how everything goes forward. But it can also like, really screw you over if you're like the one worm that's like miles away from everyone else. Like, well, I'm going to survive to the end, but like,
Can't do
what
anything.
can I do
Yeah.
for the first like
Like
5
strikes.
turns? I could do like nothing until I get
Yeah.
those strikes.
Yeah, I love the addition of like the mines. That's like a great thing.
And
I
the
love
thing
like
that someone can be duds as well. Is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I
So
love,
I
like,
realised that when we first started playing.
shooting mines into people, like, or making them kind of like knocking them down a hill into like loads of other
Yeah.
worms is like really fun. And I like all the item drops as well and that kind of thing.
Just
So-
dropping worms into water.
Really
That's
good
like my
addition.
favourite thing. Killjoy.
I have a lot of things. I've spent most of today writing about what I actually really like about this game.
This is
So
prep work, people.
yeah, I had a lot of time at work, let's just say. Okay, so first off, like the gameplay of it, it's very simple gameplay, but it works really well. And this is something that playing it the last few times has really clicked with me, because I've played a lot of the other Worms games, but playing this one, it's like the core formula of the game works beautifully. And when you're playing it and you're, selecting your weapons or you're looking at the map or whatever, everything's just really obvious. You've got the health bars at the top, you've got the win bar at the bottom, right? Everything's really easy. The gameplay itself is really easy to just understand what's going on. Each weapon, the picture of each of the weapons, like you were saying, you can kind of see what each weapon does from the most part, from the thing like shotgun's got 2 shells.
Intuit how the weapon will work without having text descriptions.
Yeah, I mean it does come up with text, but yeah, you're right. It does show
text of like the name of the weapon.
But without actually telling you what it does. Yeah. But which also goes into, I think it's an easy to learn game, but very hard to master. Like when you get good with those grenades and you get good with those bazookas, you don't really need anything else. As long as you sort of master the angles and things. And I think that part of it, I think, is fantastic. That even the first game still, to me, holds up in that sector that you can play it. You go, right, I understand what the weapons do. I understand what situations to use them in, and learn to use them in their ways. Weapon choice, I actually do like the limited weapon choice in this, even though there's quite a few weapons really for when this game is made. You've still got the secret ones like the sheep, the banana bomb, the minigun, mole bomb. I think that's it in this particular version. But they replace some of your other weapons until you use them. And I actually really like the weapon selection you've got. Like you were saying again, later games you have a lot of weapons, and some of them you're just like, what the does this do? Yeah. It's like, what's an MB bomb? It's like, what? Like a mail strike. Very, very weird.
Oh yeah, the mails.
Super sheep.
Super sheep. It doesn't. It's complex enough, but it's not too complex. You're not having to trawl through loads of weapons.
It's like variety rather than being too simple and too convoluted.
Yeah, every weapon has a purpose, and they're all decent. I think one of the biggest things for me for this game is the amount of customization options. Like you can customize how many weapons. Like if you go in the options, you can customize a lot of the game stuff. So do you start with all the weapons? How many turns do you have to wait before you get those weapons? How long do you want the match to be, or how short? Do you want sudden death? Do you want the water to rise? Do you want the crates to be all fake? Do you want the mines to be all duds? Do you want no duds, less mines? Basically all that stuff. You have so much control over how you want to play the game. So if you don't want any mines, take them off. Or if you want lots of mines and lots of craziness going on, you just put everything on max. Also, you can customize the levels as well. Like I know you can click through them, but you can actually randomly type in a seed number, and it will just spawn that level and generate that level for you. Also, replay value of this game. Even if you only crack this game out every couple of months, or even less than that, it's a really easy game to be like, I just fancy a game of Worms. Very simple. If you've already got the team set up. Once you load this game up, it takes less than 30 seconds to get into the game. You're like, play, click, 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 play, and you start. You can just jump in, and
there's no loading time.
That's true.
It's a very, very quick game. I've put down here no fluff, and what I mean by that is this game this game knows exactly what it wants to be. When you're playing the original Worms, it doesn't really have a single player mode. You can play against the AI, and you do have a kind of like a deathmatch mode, but it's like you play the game, you've got the worm options, the game options, but straight away, bang, you're in the game, you're off, you're going, and that's where the fun comes. When you're playing the game, you know that you're just playing this particular, very specific game mode for the most, and that's the meat of the game. And I actually quite like that. There aren't all these other distractions and stuff, which you do get in the later games, and they are fun, but it's nice to just have a very core experience here. Something else that I really like about this game is it only ever requires one input to play. So if you're playing on the PlayStation, you only need one controller because you pass it around. Same with the PC versions. It's a great idea that you all just use the keyboard. So every version of it, you don't need multiple controllers, which is a really smart move. And for a turn-based game,
turn-based games,
the last thing is just different play styles. Like if I want to play Dark Side, which is like digging and drilling and things, I've got the tools to do that. If I want to get really good with bazookas in the wind, I can do that. If I want to use close range weapons, the game, even though there's quite a lot of weapons, you can pick the weapons that you like to use and learn them. But then you can also be like, oh, I want to play this style of this game. This is the map. You can change stuff up on the fly, and I really enjoy that because I like to play a bit dark side. I like to dig and make some tunnels and things, and trying to avoid getting hit by airstrikes and homing missiles. And I really appreciate the fact that even from the first game, that's pretty much my likes about the game. There's quite a few things there. I really do like this game. So unless you guys have anything else to add,
I was going to say that playing this again, I was surprised at how developed it was for its time. It wasn't as primitive as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, of course.
I look back and I think when I picture playing it with my friend years ago, I just kind of picture it being a very basic game. I mean, I know it doesn't look quite as polished as some of the more recent games, but it wasn't as primitive as I thought it was going to be. It was still quite
enjoyable and actually fleshed out. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Let's move on to dislikes. I'm going to come to you after Mark because I feel like you've got a lot to say on this. So I'll start with Mr. Mark. What are your sort of dislikes of this game, if any?
Difficult to say because anything I dislike about it is not very fair because of the fact that it came out in the mid-90s and it probably would have had some technical limitations at the time. I guess there are some frustrating parts when you're trying to use a ninja rope or certain ways you can't aim every way you want to with certain items and things.
Kamikaze blowtorch.
Yeah, so you can't quite sort of tunnel around as you might like
Finesse.
to. There's just the finesse isn't quite there, but that's only really because of the technical limitations at the time, I suppose. They did what they could, like 20 odd years ago. Yeah, it's difficult to say really, dislikes. At least something that you guys start thinking about, talking about things, I'll probably think about more things.
Alrighty, I'll throw over the list of Mr. Fruity because you seem to have a lot of dislikes to this, but...
Major dislikes. It's quite a very simple premise. Like they kind of execute it well. It's kind of more like I just never really, it's like a personal thing, but I never really find myself like really engrossed in worms. I don't know if it's just like a thing I have. It's like for me, it's very much like a look at phone while doing stuff. There's not enough time between turns to like actually do anything else other than like I don't know. I just find it like I'm never really like super engrossed. Like oh no, emotionally invested. It just never seems to really. I don't know why. Like, I can't think of a reason why I don't.
Maybe we should have played for money.
Pay for people's lives.
That would have changed things.
A hostage situation about this. Yeah, I don't know why I find that.
That's fair enough though.
I mean, that's not really it's not really like a dislike. It's more just how I feel about the game. But I can't really think of anything major. Like, it all seems fairly well like balanced. It all seems fairly well executed. The art style, character style, the personalization you can do is all pretty good for the time, really. I can't really think of any major problems.
I've got some dislikes I can go over if that's going to help.
Yeah. Like jar our minds. Jar our minds, jar our memories.
Jar our memories, jar your minds.
Jar our minds.
You go get a jar tonight.
Oh no.
Again. Did you mean jog our memories?
Yeah. That's how it
Oops.
Why can't I do a jar our memories? Jar our minds.
Whoopsie.
I was going to sit here and think.
The few dislikes that I actually have for this game are quite minor, to be honest. The first thing is hard to see like some tiny bits of land. There are some times where you think you've destroyed something, where you think you can walk over something, or it doesn't look like there's something there, and actually you
with
can.
The water level.
Yeah, so
I know what you mean. That's dicked me over before.
So yeah, you can walk. You think, oh, I can walk there, and you'll fall in the water. But there's other times where you've destroyed a bit of land, and you fire a bazooka or a grenade, and it just hits something that you can't see.
Yeah.
And it's not often. It doesn't happen enough to ruin it, but it is quite frustrating when you're like...
you've got that tiny little bit of pixel that's left from a cliff.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't know that was there.
And that's... I get that, like, you know, that's a very minor thing, but there are times...
width of gaps as well.
Yeah, they're very odd.
And it's like, can I walk over that? Are they connected?
Yeah, you're not really
Sometimes
sure, are you?
It can be dangerous. I don't want to jump like, in case I go like too far or something.
But yeah, you're trying to find that like medium. But yeah, it's a minor annoyance because sometimes you line up a really good shot or you have something, and then sometimes it can work into your favour. Sometimes someone else fires something and it hits
that
up.
kind of like wavy pattern you get from like the water line in the game. But
yeah,
if it was just like a straight line, it'd be much easier to know. Like, if you clip into this bar, you know you're like dead.
Yeah, you've gone.
And then it take away from the art aesthetics. There is, sometimes that is quite annoying when that happens.
Sort of more mechanical use would be nice.
Yeah. Or like you do a thing where you make it like transparent and have like the other layer like under or over.
Yeah, they do it in the second game or the later game, I think.
Yeah.
I
So you
can't
just have like a bar on the top of the fine.
Yeah,
You still have the water effects rather than transparent.
Yeah, and
But
then
anyway,
you
yeah.
can see, yeah. One little thing that you guys may not have picked up on. This happened last time we played it. The grenade animation on this game, he like flicks the grenade up, I think, on his head and nuts it. Now there are times where because of that animation, I'm going to do that, and the grenade will get stuck above my head, and like it will actually get forced into the wall, and that can be quite frustrating as well. You try to do a good grenade shot from a slightly weird sort of angle, and it will go boop, and it will just stick, and you're like, well, I've just killed myself. Again, not something that happens.
By the way, because it's not. think of the arc of it rather than like the startup. Like,
Yeah.
I can see what you mean.
But it's only happened to me a few times to playtime. It's not something that happens often, but it can be frustrating again, like, because obviously in the later games they change this. They make the grenades, you lob the grenades and the bazookas, they all have the same power bar, but in this one, they actually animated and flicking it up and nutting it. And
I do quite like that animation.
Oh, I think it's really cool, but it's weird sometimes how it gets stuck in the wall, and it's like, for God's sake. But again, a minor gripe, it does not happen. Most of the time you're not underground launching a grenade. It's only
I might to say, it might just be a poor choice of
weapon
situation.
Yeah. Lastly, the only other thing that I can really talk about that I think is kind of a dislike is, especially playing it tonight, is even though I like the aesthetic, like it definitely could do with like a HD remake or something, because the graphics are very blurry.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't really affect the game too much. I mean, the graphics don't really bother me. I'm not a graphics man, but if you introduce someone to this game, they're going to be like, "Oh wow, this is very blurry." I know we're playing on a fairly small screen.
It's fairly good for the time though.
Oh yeah, I think it's clean.
And like, it's not high motion or like, it's quite easy to follow. It's not like everything's moving really fast or anything, so it's not like you got like tracking problems.
No,
Yeah,
like,
it's still
I know
easy
what you
to-
mean. It's quite
Just
blurry.
pixely.
You know, it's not very like bright. The colours are kind of all
Brown.
beige and brown. Like even like there's like ice cream or desert or seaside levels. They're not like super bright.
yeah.
I guess that'll make it easy to work out where you are.
No,
Yeah, it's good that they toned up the brightness in the later games.
yeah. And
I do
also,
quite like the kind of.
it's got a dark feel to it.
fantasy.
Yeah, I like the dark feel and the sort of the look and aesthetic of it. I just think it's
Sometimes like the one with like the junk one, it's like a lot of like white and black.
Yeah.
Like the landmass. Because like the background is also kind of like dark as well, like the hell worlds. It's kind of like hard to work out there's also hard to work out foreground and background on that. Then there are like ridiculous number of like maps,
yeah.
like colour palette changes.
Yeah, it's when you shoot into the ground, it starts to do that thing where it looks like the background and things.
Yeah.
You're on like weird bits. You're like, can I jump on that?
How many maps are there in this game?
But it's basically infinite.
Yeah, because
there's thousands,
like,
and
there's a
hundreds.
number at the bottom, and it's
That's
like
the seed.
it's a 5 or 6 digit number. It's
Yeah,
like,
you can type it in manually. Whatever number, like each combination spawns a different. Like one's for map choice, one's for like height, it just seeds a different map. So basically, you're never playing the same game twice. You play similar, but you don't
Yeah,
play
it's
the
I mean,
same.
the worm
Stores
placement
and
is
brands.
always random, I suppose. Like completely. Yeah.
We'll have probably set locations.
Yeah.
Then it will randomise. which
Pretty
ones.
cool that you'll never play the same game twice. It's like pretty,
You can also
keeps
put
it fresh.
I believe you can put worm placement manual on and you choose where to start, but who wants to do that? That's way too much effort. You actually manually select where you want to put them.
Yeah.
So you take it in turns to do it.
I guess if you really like took this game really seriously and you didn't want it to be unfair, you could do that. It's quite interesting if you just do it randomly and then one team will have like 3 worms that are like barricaded off from anywhere else on the
Yeah.
map, and you just be like,
Well, it's
wow,
a kind
you're gonna have
of-
fun. Like,
Getting out of that.
yeah.
It's like the whole mana in Magic the Gathering kind of thing. Like it's nice to have a thing to blame, so that you can be like, oh, the reason I lost that game is because I got bad like starting places.
Yeah.
Like it's nice to have a thing that's outside your control.
Yeah, it's nice
Thanks.
to be some kind of random,
So you're like, oh, the reason why I lost was because I had poor placement.
yeah, it's nice to have some element of randomness.
Yeah, I think it kind of works. And also like speeds it up. I think one of the advantages of this game is just how fast it is. Like literally just plug it and play.
Even with the like minor flaws and stuff on it, but like how quick you can get into this game, and you can pretty much just have fun from just the off. You just jump into it. I mean, I had it on. I played this game on the Game Boy. I played it on the SNES. I played it on the Amiga. I played it on the PC. Played it on the PS1. Like I've played Worms on a lot of different consoles. And even with like the downgrades on the SNES and the Game Boy, I still put hours and hours and hours and hours, because it is literally put it in, play, let's go, boom, and you still play 2-player. And me and my brother played it so much. Are there any other things you guys want to talk about, like dislikes, or do we think?
I think you hit the nail on the head with the whole pixel thing, where you like fire a bazooka and it'll blow up like halfway between you and where you wanted it to go, because there would be like a random pixel. That is frustrating, and it's something that I would have
That's like the one thing
said as well.
annoys me. Yeah.
But it's kind of like,
It's part of it though. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing with that game. When you play the later Worms games,
It's
you
just
can
when
actually
you
see.
try and like set something up, and it's like, oh fuck, it's like ruined all this effort.
It's definitely worth mentioning as well that the crosshair that you have, especially some long shots, it's not so bad when you're aiming up, but trying to aim sort of down, forward and down, you're not really quite sure where the shots are going to go, especially if you're trying to use the shotgun long range. Like, the bazooka's not so bad, but there are some times when I don't think the crosser actually is quite... I think it's lying to you a little bit. It's either slightly higher or lower than it actually says, but again...
It's not getting good.
Yeah, you got to do that, or in those situations use a different weapon. To be honest, a lot of the issues I have with this game are very minor. Like, for me, a lot of what's good about this game when it came out are like way outweigh any of the other things for it. Like, to me, it's still a really, really good game.
Yeah.
So.
Well, things like the pixels and stuff like that comes from just having structural terrain in the game of that era.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they did very, very well.
It's annoying, but like you can't really avoid it when you have the entire terrain could be destroyed. Make things very cleanly.
No, exactly. You have to have like small things, and like I said, it's not something that gets in the way often. It's usually when you've got like one worm left, someone else got one left. That's when you find it screws you up.
One of those things that like really pisses you off, so it does happen.
Yeah, especially trying to ninja rope and just
like
turn it around.
chucking grenades and it bounces back to you. Like, oh.
Yeah, dead now.
Spent ages
So annoying.
lining up the arc and about it,
and the wind,
choosing
power.
the number of seconds, how long the grenade is going to be, and then it randomly hits something that you couldn't see, and you're like,
yeah,
all my strategy has gone to waste.
Yeah, it is frustrating, but it's like I said, it's not. I mean, it does happen in the most inopportune times, but at the same time, it can happen to anyone. Like because it just depends on where you are on the map, like type of map. This game has a lot of strategy, but there are those little bits of luck if you choose to put. I mean, you can make the game as lucky or as unlucky as you want. Right? If you put like random settings on mines, creates explosive stuff. You're adding more randomness to the game.
Yeah.
But like that particular thing, it's never your fault. It's only random if someone's happened to hit something at a certain angle. It's blown up most of it by these few pixels that you can't see or are very hard to see. Yeah. You know, that's when it stitches you up, and you're just like, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I mean, the pixel thing doesn't happen very often, and it's not a biggie for me. I think most of the time things happen how you like them to, and it's all pretty fair usually.
Yeah, gravy. Anything to add, or shall we? I think
that's pretty much it.
Alright, well let's talk about do we think this game still holds up? We'll start with Mr. Mark. Do you think this game still holds up?
I think it does, yeah. I was surprised actually. I thought going back to it, I literally hadn't played the game for maybe nearly 20 years, around the 20-year mark, and I was thinking this game is going to be so like clunky and basic and like unenjoyable. Kind of unenjoyable, kind of like just not work as smoothly and as fluidly as I would hope it to like the later ones do. But I was surprised at how much detail there was in the game, how much I could strategize more than I thought I might be able to. I thought it would be a bit more kind of like they wouldn't have refined the physics so well with it just from the first game, but they had done. Especially with the whole low gravity stuff and the ice physics and all that. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I think it holds up really well. I think it's really original. It's really good for its time. Yeah, I still have a lot of fun playing it. I still the most fun thing for me is to get a cluster bomb or a grenade and just go for that shot and just hope that it works. It's so much more satisfying when you go for the risky option and you pull it off and do something like crazy. And you can do a lot of that in this game. There is a lot of... I think because there aren't so many ridiculous weapons that there are in the later games, there's quite a good number of weapons, quite varied, but it's limited enough for you to have to get good with like the bazookas and the grenades and stuff, rather than relying on crazy stuff like a fucking concrete donkey or like any of the rather random stuff in the later games.
Super sheep.
So yeah, I kind of like that there is like a wide enough variety to make it choice weapons, but also like not too wide that you still do need to get good with the basics of the game, like using the bazooka, thinking about the wind and the power and the angle and the same with the grenades and other things. So yeah, I think it holds up really well actually, and it is still really replayable. I thought playing it again we'd be like, this isn't worth playing now, we might as well just play Armageddon, but I still enjoyed it as much as I would most of the other Worms games, really.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it holds up really well.
This is fruity.
It's an interesting one. Like, when we said we're going to do this as the next one, and the similar thing was just like, worms. Like, I don't know.
You weren't
why.
too excited.
Yeah, but like I don't know why. Like I can't really like say like the reason behind it. Like I don't know. It's just so.
You're just not that enthusiastic about this.
Yeah, it's just like every time there's pretty much always the first one out. There's never been like, oh no, it's like, oh cool. Or it's like, and then like watching stuff happen. Like I like watching all the cool stuff that happens, and situations and stuff. Like it's not like I enjoy the game. It just doesn't like connect with me. So it's like, I mean, it's like I'll play them if other people want to play them, but like it's never something I'm like, you know, it's not the game at the gaming night where I'm like, oh guys, we have to play some Worms tonight.
I find it weird only because you like strategy games.
I know, it's
just
weird, isn't it?
Bonkers, yeah.
I don't know. It's not really a game you can compare to other games quite easily. So I can't think of like, oh, much prefer these mechanics done in this game, because it's like, it's kind of quite original Worms. But I don't know, it doesn't grip me.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It's like when you read a book and then someone's like, oh, this book's really good, you should read it. You like fantasy or hard sci-fi or whatever, you start reading the book and you're like, just not invested.
Yeah.
But like everyone else is really like enjoying it. You're like, oh, I want to like, it's like the same kind of book. You're like, oh, you get like halfway through and just never pick it up again. It's just like.
It sounds like it's one of those things you don't mind having a couple rounds, but you're done. Once you're done, you've done like, yeah, it's a bit fun, but
yeah. Well, so I think just that.
So you didn't really like it then, and you don't really like it now.
Yeah.
In terms of holding up.
It's just that kind of analogy thing. Yeah, it's just kind of like. Some people want to play it, like I'll play it with them. It's not like I hate the game or anything, but it's just like.
No allegiance to it.
If we didn't do this, I wouldn't have been like, oh no, we should do this. Like, it's just. Yeah, it's not something that grips me.
Yeah, that's fair enough though. Like it's hard to. I would love to know why. Like and even you don't know why. But
I can't
it's
really
so.
place my finger on it. Maybe if I work out some reason, we can address
Yeah.
it later in the next.
There's always going to be some games that you expect people to love, but just because they don't have much experience or it never gripped them. Like if it's never gripped them, maybe it never will, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I can't really think.
I mean, like if we played Worms Armageddon or World Party or some of the others, I wonder if you would enjoy those more, or it'd just still be the same. This is just not a series that I really want that fussed about.
Yeah, I think I kind of preferred this one for just how kind of like stripped back a lot of the mechanics were.
Retro
to be honest. Yeah, it's like it's a lot easier to follow. It's another thing that happens in the later ones, like the holy hand grenade or all these other things. Like, I have no idea what any of this stuff does.
Yeah.
So I did kind of like how streamlined this game was. The controls, like the mouse camera, was a bit annoying.
That might just be my mouse though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not enough to like make me not hurry up.
Yeah.
I think this one, basically, I guess I can limit to. It's not really my cup of tea. Don't mind it. Kind of preferred this one to what I remember from the older ones. But if we carry on through the franchise, maybe I'll be corrected and be like, oh wait, I like these newer ones. Who knows?
Yeah, fair enough.
Levi?
I mean, 100% this game to me holds up. Like this had the same effect on me than when we played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. When we played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, I thought that game was going to be awful, and I was like, actually, this game's very playable.
That was a surprise by how much that was like a blast back to my childhood.
Yeah, and you just think, actually, this game's really well made. And then when we played Worms, it was the same thing. I was like, even though I like
this isn't as limiting as I thought it was going to be.
I don't know what it was. It was like when you've played like Armageddon, World Party, and the later games, and you know that you get really good with the ninja ropes, and you've got like all those utility items, you've got all the other items like the extra jumps and stuff. You go back to this, and actually none of that really matters. It's like it improves on the formula, but because the core game is so good, you have a good choice of weapons. The game, for the most part, like that engine that they use, there's little pixel problems, but for the most part, it's very smooth. Everything works as it should. You're just surprised that actually this base game is very well made. I mean because of that, and because of the memories I had of it, I was like, actually, this game definitely holds up. This is up there, for me, like I said, with Tony Hawk's 2, where there aren't going to be a huge amount of games I'm going to play that I go, actually that holds up amazingly well. Unlike Sonic 2, like we did last time, which was I love that game, and actually the more I played it, I started to hate it more. Well, not hate it, but notice the cracks and the lazy programming. This is the opposite for me, where it's this is a game I played a lot of as a kid, and I haven't played for a good few years, and then I played it recently, and now I'm like, well, actually, the game's just good. It's just a solid game. I know, obviously, you know, if it's a game that you like or love or whatever, or something you just want to play with friends, everything's there. You can just jump into a game, you can play, and off you go, and you can have fun. And for that reason, I definitely think it holds up, and I would still recommend this to anyone. If no one's played Worms before, unless they're like obsessed about graphics, I'm like, this is definitely worth your time to play. Even if you only play it once, it's definitely worth your time. I mean, I should again state that we did play the original game with the expansion pack, the expansion adds, I think, one new item and a bunch, like a single player mode kind of thing, like deathmatch thing. It might add more than that. I can't remember, but I know specifically that doesn't add a huge amount. I think it gives you new like level options as well. It doesn't change the base game specifically, but it does add like content. But when you think about that base game with the items, with the weapon customization, with the game option customization, there's actually a lot in this package, and you can play the game the way you want to play it. And I think even though that improved again later with the other games, it's pretty bloody impressive for the time. And, definitely play this if you get a chance to. That's my thing with it.
Well, I think that's 2-1 really, isn't it? I think two of us very much like it.
I think that's unfair.
I didn't mean none of this a competition. I just mean two of us like it.
It is rare when we're not all like, yeah, you should definitely play this.
I think we've got some interesting stuff coming up that hopefully will change we will like it to some.
Go edgy.
Yeah, but I think that's it then. I think we've pretty much covered.
Punch up.
Yeah, we've covered Worms today. We've got some other stuff in the pipeline, as always.
More strategy.
More strategy, and hopefully like a punchy, fighty game. And then probably some other stuff, because, you know, there's plenty of games and we're not going to run out anytime soon.
These amazing wordplay we're using at the moment. You won't know until later.
Just have to see. So it's thank you very much for listening, as always, and it is bye from me, and bye from these two.
Goodbye.